Hi, I'm Chef Raphael and welcome to today's episode. Today it's brought to you by Mary's Gold Pishori rice. I'm going to show you how to make fish with a tomato and lemon sauce, served with some vegetables and the Mary's Gold pure Pishori rice. It's very delicious. I'm sure you learned something today. Let's get started. Now, when it comes to onions, my theory about onions, the onions is never too much. Actually, the more it makes even the dish nicer. So I'll use 2 large cloves of garlic. Now with garlic, what you do is remove the edge, one end, like that, and then crush it. Now this makes it easier to remove the skin when you have crushed it like that. Now I'm going to roughly chop it because I will be blending the garlic together with the tomatoes. Now I have 4 tomatoes here. So even for the tomatoes, you just cut them into big chunks like that. So now this will go into a blender, but before that, let's turn on the pan and start frying the onion. Now for the onion, you're frying it until it's soft. We want the onion to start cooking until it's translucent, or basically when it's soft. And while this is going on, let's blend the tomatoes. So it needs to simmer for about 5 minutes or until it's thickened and the water in the tomato is reduced. And then at this stage, in fact, it's smelling garlicky, and that's fine. It's not too much. It's not too heavy on the garlic, which is what you should want. I like the onion part because now the sauce is a little bit extra thick because of the onion dices that we had. Now at this stage, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Now about a teaspoon of sugar. I'll also add some lemon juice. So when you're adding the lemon juice, what I've done is first pressed it so that it becomes more juicy, but also make sure that when you're adding the lemon juice, you reduce the amount. Don't put in the seeds. So what I'm doing, using my fingers as a sieve, then some cream. Now this is whipping cream. You can also use cooking cream. Then stir. Now cream is important because it makes it more rich, but in case you don't take dairy or you don't have cream available, you can actually skip it. You can also use some coconut cream or coconut milk for this. And then maybe I would suggest that you skip the lemon juice and then make it have and let it have tomato and coconut flavor, as opposed to, in this case, lemon and tomato flavor. And then now to finish it off, I'm going to add some chopped parsley. You can also use some chopped coriander if that's what you have available. It's just that parsley doesn't have any extra flavor that adds to the sauce. So we'll set this aside and then we'll start cooking the fish fillet. The trick with fish is try and get one that is fresh, and you know it's fresh by just the smell. just smell fresh. If it's a little bit off, especially when you're buying, you just make sure when you're buying, you make sure that it's fresh. So I'm adding salt and pepper. And when you're doing salt and pepper, do a generous amount on each side of the piece of fish. Now I want my pan to be hot before I place the fish on it. And then the other thing, when it's dry, when it's a little bit wet, what usually tends to happen is that the fish tends to stick on the surface. So the trick is try and dry it completely, and then put salt and pepper, enough oil to just brown the fish. So when the pan is hot, that's when you add the piece of fish, and you want to hear it sizzle. Yes, that's the sound you want to hear. You want to hear it sizzling. That's when you know it's actually ready. The pan is hot enough. So I've reduced the heat slightly because when you're cooking fish, fish is really delicate. You don't want it to brown too much before it cooks on the inside. It starts cooking from down up, so you'll start seeing it turning white as the heat continues to penetrate into the fish. And what I've done is I've started with the bottom side, which has the like the veins of the fish. The flat side of the fish is what you want to start with, because that's the side that will come on top when you're plating it. When you have it in a hot pan, it will start browning immediately. And then when you reduce the heat, now the heat will be cooking on the inside. Now add a little bit of oil on top. Remember, fish has oil, so you don't want to put too much oil. Fish has its own natural oil, so no need to put too much. And then I'll flip it. So for the second side, it will take another about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. The timing is dependent on the thickness of your fish. So when it comes to serving, I've already cooked my side of vegetables. Rice is ready, and I'm going to place the sauce on top of the fish. Remember, it has lemon juice on it, so it's perfect for this fish. And then for the rice, I've molded it in a small bowl, ready for service. So that has been today's meal. It's brought to you today by Mary's Gold Pishori rice. I'm telling you, we all love Pishori, especially if you're in Kenya watching this. This rice has that proper Pishori flavor, and the whole dish now will come together. The fish, the delicate flavor from the fish and the tomato, lemon sauce, the vegetables, they all come together to form this wonderful dish. And I hope you've learned something today. If you have any comments or questions about where to get your rice, put them on the comment section and we'll get back to you on how you can get it here in Kenya. And until next time, goodbye.